we have started the locomotion chapter and movement, so we will continue the same chapter, right? So in that chapter, the next series of the questions will start here. The next series of questions. So okay, so here we'll go. Next question there. Locomotion and movement. Okay, locomotion and movement. Locomotion and movement. The chapter we are doing. So here, which one of the following is the correct matching of the three items? Okay, which one of the following? Which one of the following is the correct matching? Correct matching of three items. Correct matching of three items and their grouping category and their grouping category. Grouping and their grouping, GROUPING, grouping category, and their grouping, okay, grouping categories, and their grouping categories. Okay, now here write down the items, and here we write the groups. Okay, items and groups, right? So number one here, number A will be Malleus. Okay, then we have this incus and cochlea. Malleus, then okay, incus and cochlea. Malleus, incus, and the cochlea. Yeah, they say that ear ossicle. Okay, ear ossicle. Then number B. Okay, we have this cytosine, uracil, and thymine. Cytosine, uracil, and the thymine. Cytosine, uracil, and thymine. Okay, this is the pyrimidine. Okay, pyrimidines. Number C now. C is our actin, myosin, and the rhodopsin. Actin, myosin, okay, and the rhodopsin. Actin, myosin, and rhodopsin. So here, okay, now this is that. Okay, muscle protein. We can say that muscle protein, and number D now. Number D is here. Okay, ileum, ischium, and the pubis. Ileum. Okay, then we have the ischium, and the pubis. Ileum, ischium, and pubis. Coxal bones of pelvic girdle. These are the coxal bones of pelvic girdle. Coxal bones of pelvic girdle. Okay, of the pelvic girdle. So here in this question, which one of the following is the correct matching of three items and their grouping categories? So here, Malleus, incus, and cochlea, ear ossicle, they are saying no, it is wrong. This should be okay. Malleus, incus, and stapes, not the cochlea. So here, cytosine, uracil, and thymine. This is not the pyrimidine. This is the purine. And actin, myosin, and the rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is a pigment found in the retina of the eye. Okay, which by the help of the vitamin A, it will initiate our retinal cells, like the rod and cone cells, okay, for the vision. So here, actin and myosin, these two are the muscle protein and not the rhodopsin. And here, if you see the coxal bone of the pelvic girdle, we have all the three bones are there. The ilium bone is there, ischium and the pubis bone. All these three bones are found in the ilium, ischium, and the pubis part. Okay, so here is somewhere. Okay, we can say somewhere the pubis part. So then ilium and ischium are there. So the correct answer. So correct answer will be our. Okay, correct answer is the answer will be number D. Answer D. No? Answer D. That is our. Okay, ilium, ischium, and the pubis. Okay, these three are the bones of the coxal bones of pelvic girdle. Coxal bones of pelvic girdle. Okay, pelvic girdle. Okay, right? Coxal bones of pelvic girdle. Next question we'll write here. Okay. Okay, now yeah. Okay. So here we'll go to next question. The neural canal. Neural canal is present in. Neural canal is present in. Okay, that's there. Number A, humerus. A, humerus. Okay. B will be A, humerus. Okay. B will be our tibia fibula. C will be our this cranial nerves, and then D will be vertebral column. Vertebral column. So here what happened there? Neural canal. If you look at the vertebral column bone, look at the bone of the vertebral column. So in these bones, okay, we find the structures. There is a canal-like structure through which the nerves will go. Nerves will enter, and this is called as the neural canal. So neural column is found in the vertebral column. Okay, so answer will be our neural canal is present in the vertebral column bone. Okay, right? Okay, then next question we go to now. Is this finished now, students? Have you finished?
Yes, sir.
Hello, students. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, next question is our okay. Phalangeal in bracket I don't there digital. Phalangeal in bracket digital. Okay, digital. Okay, formula. Digital formula of human forelimb. Forelimb is digital formula of human forelimb. These are also our forelimb. Okay. So now is number A, 2, 3. Okay, 2, 3, and 3, 3, 3. Okay. Number B is our 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Number C now. Okay, it will be all three. 3, 3, 3, 3. Number D. Okay, number D is our 3, 3, 4, 2, 3. 3, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now this is our phalangeal or digital formula of human forelimb is 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And then option number D now, 3, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now if you look at the forelimbs, you find here that in the fingers, this is our digits. So what is the formula of the digit? The thumb contains the two bones are there in the thumb. And rest of the finger has got the 3 bone. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Only the thumb has got the 2 bones. So here, correct answer will be number A. A will be correct answer because the thumb has got the 2 bones and the rest of the digits have got the 3 bones. So the thumb has got the 2 bones here. So 2 bones, the rest of the digit has got the 3 bones. So this is the phalangeal formula. Okay. So answer will be number A. Number A. Okay, then okay. Now next question. Now we'll go to the next question. The strongest muscle. The strongest muscle. Okay, the strongest muscle of human body is okay. The strongest muscle of human body is okay. Strongest muscle of human body is now number A, biceps. Okay. Number A right here, biceps. Biceps. Okay. Okay, biceps. Number B, we have this. Okay, masseter. M-A-S-S-E-R. M-A-S-S. Masseter. I think it should be M-A-S-S-E. Okay, M-A-S-S-E. T-E-R. Masseter. Okay, number C now. This would be okay. Stapedius. Stapedius. Number D. This would be gluteus maximus. Okay, gluteus maximus. So here, the strongest muscle of the human body is called as the masseter. The masseter will be there in the cheeks. The masseter are found in the cheeks, which help in the mastication of the food. Okay. So answer will be number B, masseter. Okay, masseter. It is a thick rectangular muscle. Thick rectangular muscle found in cheeks. And help in mastication. Helps in mastication of food. Helps in mastication of food. Okay, mastication of food. Okay, then we go to after this we go to next important question now. During muscle contraction. Okay, during muscle contraction. So here, which of the following events occur? Okay, muscle contraction. Which of the following events events occur? Which of these following events occur? So, right here. These are the following events occur. Okay. So, we have the answer there. Okay. Number 1, H zone. H zone disappears. H zone disappears. Number 2, we have this A band widens. Okay. A band widens. Widens. Number 3 now. A band widens. Okay. Number I band reduces in width. Reduces in width. I band reduces in width. Number 4 now. Number 4, you see number 4, width of the A band is unaffected. Okay, width of A band. A band is unaffected. Unaffected. Okay, number 5 now. Number 5, M line and the Z line come close. M line and Z line come close. Come close. Okay. M line and Z line come close. Now, if you look at the structure here, okay, look at the structure of the sarcomere. The structure of the sarcomere. Okay, this is the structure of the sarcomere. Okay, and also this is the structure of the sarcomere. Right here. Okay. Then we have okay. This is the structure. Then again we have the same structure. Okay, like this. Okay, we have the same structure like this. Okay. Again we have the structure like this. Okay. So here this okay this is called as the H zone. H zone, and this whole area is called as the sarcomere. Sarcomere are the functional unit of the muscle. If you take the muscle, no, this is a muscle fiber, and if you take the muscle fiber, this is a muscle fiber. Muscle fiber inside, if you find here, you'll get the sarcomere, and the sarcomere will be enlarged. It look like this. Okay, this is the sarcomere, and the sarcomere enlarged look like this. Okay, this is H zone here. Okay, this is the okay. So here, if you do like this, this is the I band. This is the I band. Okay, this is I band. Okay, and here it will be A band. A band is there. Okay, A band is there. H zone. So now, okay, here it will be Z line. Z line is there. So now they say that, okay, now the okay, options are there. Options are there. Option number A. Option number A, they have given 1, 2, 4. Okay, 1, 2, then 4. Option number B, they have given, it will be 1, 3, and 4. 1, okay, 3, and 4. Option number C now. Option number C will be 1, 3, and 4, and 1, 3, and 4. 4. 1, 3, and 4. One, 3, 4, and 5. This is 1, 5. Okay, and C will be our 2, 4, and 5. 2, 4, and 5. D will be our option number D will be 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now here, during muscle contraction, which of the following events occur serially? Which of the following events occur serially? First of all, H zone disappears. Okay, second one will be our I band reduced in width. I band reduced in width. Okay, then we have number 4. Width of the A band is unaffected. A band width will be, this is unaffected. A band will remain same. Okay, then we have M line and the Z line, they come closer. So we go to option number B. Answer will be B. That is 1, 3, 4, and 5. That's why I told you it's very important question in the exam now. Okay, very important question now. Now next question we'll write here. Okay, we'll go to next question now. Finish to 10. If you are finished, you tell me, and I'll write the next question. Okay. Now, after that, we go to smooth muscles. Next question is there. Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles. Okay. The smooth muscles are number A. Involuntary. Involuntary. Smooth muscles are involuntary. They are not relaxed and contract our will. That's involuntary. Okay. Spindle shaped. Spindle shaped. Spindle shaped. Okay. Uninucleated. They have single nucleus. Uninucleated. Uninucleated. And you see tapering. Okay. Tapering. Tapering. Uninucleated and the tapering. Right? Okay. Then we go to number B now. Number B. Smooth muscles are voluntary, multinucleated, and cylindrical. Voluntary, multinucleated, and cylindrical. Multinucleated and cylindrical. Number C now. We'll go to involuntary, cylindrical, and multinucleated. Involuntary, cylindrical, and multinucleated. Multinucleated. Okay. Okay, number D now. Okay, D will be here. Voluntary, branched, and uninuclear. Voluntary, branched, and uninuclear. Voluntary, branched, and uninuclear. So here, smooth muscle, if you say that, that's like the muscles of the cardiac, like this. Okay, these are the smooth muscles. Now they have single nucleus. Nucleus will be single, and they are spindle shaped, or we can say like this also. We can say this is also smooth muscles. Okay, they are the spindle shaped also, and uninucleated, tapering on the two sides. Okay, this is tapering area. Tapering here also tapering, and they are involuntary. They will contract and relax according to their own will. So answer will be smooth muscles are involuntary, spindle shaped, uninucleated, and they are tapering. Okay, right? They are tapering. Now next question right on there. Okay. Finish now, students? Hello. Okay, next question we'll go to. Okay, this is very important question now. Next question. So here red muscle fibers is very important question there. Red muscle fibers. Okay. Red muscle fibers are rich in number A is the protein, rich in protein. Number B, we can say that lysosomes. Okay, number C will be here microsomes. D will be microsomes. D will be mitochondria. So we have the white muscles and the red muscles. These are two kinds of muscles are found. White muscles are found in the birds. Okay, red muscles are found in human mammals. So now you see the red muscles have they have the more large amount of mitochondria in them. That's why they can produce more energy. So if you see the cellular structure of the red muscle fiber, they contain more amount of mitochondria. So answer will be mitochondria. Okay, mitochondria. Answer will be mitochondria. Because red muscles produces more energy. Red muscles produce more energy. Okay, now next is a little bit hard question. Next one I am giving you, so you have to answer that. Okay. So now, okay, the edge zone. This question came in the NEET exam. The edge zone in the skeletal muscle fiber. Skeletal muscle fiber is due to skeletal muscle fiber. Red zone in the skeletal muscle fiber is due to okay, is due to now number A, absence of myofibrils. Number A, the absence of myofibrils. Absence of myofibrils in the central portion of A band. In the central portion of A band. Central portion of A band. A band, you have seen that. Okay. A band we have seen. Okay. Now between that we have A band. Okay, myofibril is a protein. These fibers are absent in the central portion of the A band. Here they are saying that. So number B will go to the central gap between myosin filament in the A band. The central gap. Okay, the central gap between myosin filament. Central band between myosin filament. Central gap between myosin filament in the A band. Okay, in the A band. There is a gap in the myosin filament in the A band. Okay, then we have C. Now there are two kinds of protein, actin and myosin in the muscle. We know that. And next one, the central gap between actin filament extending. The central gap. Okay, this was question from the NEET 2013. This question is from the NEET. Okay, NEET. Okay, 2013. NEET 2013. Okay, this question, right? Okay, so now, okay, central gap between myosin filament. Okay, then the central gap between actin filament. Central gap between between actin filament. Actin filament. Central gap between actin filament. Okay. Actin filament extending through myosin filament. Extending through. Okay, through, right? Extending through myosin filament. Through myosin filament. Extending through myosin filament. Myosin filament. Okay, and we go to numbers. Myosin filament in the A band. Okay, in the A band. In the A band. Okay, number D now. A band there. Number D. Extension of the myosin filament. Extension of myosin filament. Extension of myosin filament in the central portion of the A band. In the central portion of A band. Central portion of A band. That is the answer there. Okay, that is the answer there. Okay, central portion of the A band. Okay. Now they say that S zone in the skeletal muscle fiber. Okay, just 1 minute, students. Now, the S zone, this came in the NEET, okay, 2013 exam. So they say that the S zone in the skeletal muscle fiber is due to the absence of the myosin fibril in the central part of the A band, the central gap between myosin filament in the A band, central gap between the actin filament extending through myosin filament in the A band. This is the correct answer. Okay, then the extension of the myosin filament in the central portion of A band. This is the correct answer to central gap. Okay, the central gap between the actin filament extending through myosin filament in the A band. Okay, this is the A band here. These are the two A band, and here there is actin filament, actin, and here these are the myosin. Okay, myosin. So here there's a gap. Okay, and this gap will form the edge zone, right? So I just write the answer here. Okay, just in the bracket we write here that the edge zone in skeletal muscle, edge zone in the skeletal muscle, is due to edge zone in the skeletal muscle is due to central gap between central gap between actin filament extending through myosin filament extending through myosin filament okay, in the A band, myosin filament in the A band, myosin filament in the A band, BAND, okay, A band means BAND, A band, okay, in the A band. Now, so if this will happen here, actin and this is myosin, and there is a gap, S zone will come here. So alternately, we can say, if this will happen, then what will happen? Alternately, or again, okay, Arrangement of the dark and the light band gives the striated appearance. The dark and the light band. So alternately the dark and light band. Light band will give striated appearance. Will give striated, okay, striated appearance. Striated will give the striated appearance. So alternately, the dark and the light band will give the striated appearance. Okay, the striated appearance to a skeletal muscle. Appearance to a skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle. Why the striated appearance? Because okay, there is formation of edge zone in the central gap between actin filament extending through the myosin filament in the A band. Okay, right? So okay, striated appearance to a skeletal muscle. Okay, at the center of the A band, at the center of the A band. You have to write this because another question will be asked. You can answer from this. So at the center of A band, at the center of A band, okay, a comparatively less dark zone, a comparatively less dark zone known as edge zone, okay, comparatively less dark zone known as edge zone is present, okay, is present. And then in the center of the edge zone, in the center of edge zone, okay, M line is present. Center of the edge zone. This may be, they will ask here where M line is present. So in the center of the edge zone, M line is present, formed by the threads that connect the myofilament. Formed by the threads that connect myofilament. Okay, myofilament that connect myofilament, right? Connect the myofilament. Okay. Now we go to next question. One more question. Okay. Then go to next question now. So today we try to complete the chapter as a whole because there's nothing where less questions are there. Now next question we go to. Okay. This also. Okay. NEET exam is there. So okay. Okay. Now we go to next question now. Okay. The characteristics and example. The characteristics. Okay. The characteristics and an example of a synovial joint. Characteristics and an example of a synovial joint. Okay. Characteristic and an example of a synovial joint in human age. Okay. So now this has come in this is also in the NEET exam. Okay. Meet exam. Now, so okay. Now here we are down the human age characteristics. Characteristics. Okay, and also they have given examples and examples. Characteristics and examples. Okay, so number A, fluid cartilage between two bones. Number A, fluid cartilage. Fluid cartilage. Fluid cartilage between two bones. Fluid cartilage between two bones. Limited movement. Limited movement. Okay. Limited movement. Answer will be knee joint. Knee joint. Knee joint. Number B. Okay, we have the fluid between two joints, so provides cushion. Okay. Now, so fluid between two joints. Between two joints provides cushion. Provides cushion. Okay, so this is called as the skull bone. Skull bone. Okay, skull bone. Then we go to number C now. C will be here. Fluid filled synovial cavity between the two bones. Fluid filled synovial cavity. Cavity between two bones. Between two bones, the joint between atlas and axis. Joint between atlas and axis. Atlas and axis. Joint between atlas and axis. Okay, then we go to number D now. Okay, D will be here. Okay, lymph filled between the two bones. Limited movement. Lymph filled between two bones. Between two bones, lymph filled between two bones, limited movement. Okay, limited movement. Limited movement. Okay, limited movement. Okay, gliding joint between carpals. Gliding joint. Okay, gliding joints between carpals. Gliding joint between carpals. Okay, so which is the correct answer here? Okay, correct answer there. Okay. You see that correct answer will be number one. They say that characteristic and example they have given here, synovial joints. So characteristic is fluid cartilage between the two bones and limited movement. If there is the cartilage of the two bones or the soft bones contain the fluid inside, then there is a limited movement that is called a knee joint. No, knee joint. This is a synovial joint. Okay, this is a ball and socket joint. Okay, and the fluid between two joints provide the cushion skull bone. No, this is a fibrous joint. Fibrous joint found between skull bones and fluid filled synovial cavity between two bones joined between atlas and axis. That is the correct answer. There, our atlas and axis bones on the backbone of the neck. There is a pivoted joint. That joint will be, this is a pivoted joint, and this is filled with the synovial. This, this is filled with the fluid in the joint, synovial joint, and this is the characteristic of the joining between atlas and axis. Okay, then rim filled between two bones, limited movement, gliding joint between the carpal. That is wrong. Okay, so now we'll go to number C. Number C. Okay. Okay. So here I'll just we will see answer will be number C now. So we just write the explanation of the answer now. Okay, explanation of the answer. So we can say that answer will be our 11C. 11C. So here, okay, uh, join between atlas and axis. Atlas and axis. Okay, atlas and axis is an example of synovial joint. Is an example of synovial joint. Okay, is an example of synovial joint. Okay, characterized by the presence of fluid-filled synovial cavity. Characterized by the presence of a fluid-filled synovial cavity. Fluid-filled synovial cavity. Synovial cavity. Okay, fluid-filled synovial cavity. Okay, synovial cavity between the articulating surface of our what? Of the two bones, no, of the atlas and axis, of atlas and axis. Okay, atlas and axis. This is the correct explanation. Now they will articulate at the two sides of the atlas and axis. This area is filled with the synovial fluid. Okay, this will be filled with the synovial fluid. Okay, so now we go to next question now. After that, we go to the next question now. Okay, okay, now we go to the okay. Now, yes. Okay. Then another question also from the NEET now. Okay. Okay. Select the correct statement. Select the correct statement. Select the correct statement where with respect to the locomotion in human. With respect to locomotion in human. With respect to locomotion in humans. Okay, humans now. Humans. So here we go to a decreased level of progesterone. A decreased level of the progesterone, GE. Okay, progesterone causes osteoporosis in old people, or causes osteoporosis in old people. In old people, okay. Osteoporosis in old people. Then we have accumulation of uric acid and crystals. Number B is there. Accumulation of uric acid and crystal. Uric acid and crystals in joint causes their inflammation. In joints, it causes their inflammation. Causes their inflammation. Okay. Then number C now. The vertebral column has 10 thoracic vertebrae. The vertebral column has 10 thoracic vertebrae. Has 10, okay, thoracic vertebrae. Okay, number D now. Okay, number D is here. Okay, the joint between adjacent vertebrae is a fibrous joint. The joint between adjacent vertebrae is a fibrous joint. Is a fibrous joint. Okay. Joint between adjacent vertebrae is a fibrous joint. So, with correct statement. Correct statement here. Okay. So, which is the correct statement? There, a decreased level of progesterone causes decreased level of the progesterone causes the osteoporosis in old people. Second one, accumulation of the uric acid and crystal in joints causes the inflammation. This will causes the inflammation, and also the vertebral column has the 10 thoracic vertebrae. Okay. Vertebral column has how many thoracic vertebrae? It has got the 26 thoracic vertebrae. How much? How many? 26. Okay, 26, not the 10. 26 thoracic vertebrae are there. Joint between adjacent vertebrae. Okay, the joint between adjacent vertebrae is not a fibrous joint. Is not a fibrous joint. It is a kind of the synovial joint. Okay, so now here we can say that answer will be our accumulation of the uric acid and crystal in the joint causes inflammation, and this inflammation is caused at the gout, G-O-U-T, gout. So our answer will be, okay, answer will be our, okay, okay. So we can just write the answer will be number B. Number B, okay. Accumulation of the uric acid and crystal in the joints of inflammation, also called gout. Okay, G-O-U-T, gout, also called gout. Okay, this I think this is okay for you because no need of explaining all these things. Vertebral column at 26 and decreased level of the progesterone causes osteoporosis. That is okay. There is also wrong. We have done just now that osteoporosis. Okay, so now we go to next question now. So quickly we move on to the next question. Very fast we have to go. So now we will go to the next question now. Okay. This question was also came in the NEET exam, so I've given this question to you also. Okay, so mostly all part of the textbook of NCERT, all the paragraph I have touched the questions are whatever questions coming from there I have given, and few more are there. Please write down these questions also. Okay, few more questions are there. So quickly we'll complete today the chapter. Okay, then we have this. Mm, mm, okay. Okay, now. Okay. What is a sarcomere? What is a sarcomere? Sarcomere, I told you, the functional unit of the muscle. So sarcomere length of number A, part between so two H lines. Part between the two H lines. Okay, next one is here. Okay, part between the two A lines. Now number B will be the part between okay, two A lines. Part between two A lines. Number C now. Number C, part between two A lines. Number C will be part between two I bands. The part between two I bands. Okay. I bands. Number D, it will be the part between two Z lines. Part between two Z lines. Okay. So here, if we cut at the Z lines here now, okay, the part between these are Z lines. Part between two Z lines is called as the sarcomere. Sarcomere. Part between the two Z lines is called as the sarcomere. Okay. Now we'll go to this will there. Okay. Okay, then here answer we can write down there. The part of the myofibril. The part of the myofibril. Okay, the part of the myofibril between two successive Z lines. Between two successive Z lines. Between two successive between two successive Z lines. Two successive, okay. Successive Z line. Two successive Z line, okay. Functions as a contractile unit. Functions as a contractile unit. Functions as a contractile unit, and is known as a sarcomere. And is known as this unit is a contractile unit. It can contract and relax, and is called as and is known as sarcomere. Okay, sarcomere, known as sarcomere, right? Okay, known as the sarcomere. This is very simple. An important question was there, known as the sarcomere. One more question will go now. Okay, one more question will go. Okay, now. Okay. Okay, now. Okay. Okay, now next one will be very simple question I'm going to give you. Okay, ligament. Ligament is okay. Ligament. What is ligament? Ligament is modified yellow elastic fiber tissue. Modified yellow. Okay, elastic fiber tissue. Elastic fiber tissue. elastic fiber tissue. Number B, modified yellow elastic fiber tissue. Number B, okay, inelastic white fibrous tissue. Inelastic white fibrous tissue. Inelastic white fibrous tissue. Number C will be our modified white fibrous tissue. Modified white fibrous tissue. White fibrous tissue. And number D now. Okay. Number D. Okay, we go to this yellow fibrous connective tissue. Sorry, we'll go to okay, modified yellow. Okay, we go to none of these now. None of these. This question came in the okay AIPMT. AIPMT. Okay, AIPMT 1999. Okay, 1999. So ligament is what? Ligament is what? Ligament is inelastic white fibrous tissue. Ligament is inelastic white fibrous tissue. Answer will be B. Ligaments. Okay, ligaments are we have written also ligament. Okay, they will connect bones at the joint. Ligaments connect the bones at joints. And they are inelastic white fibrous tissue. We already know that. Okay, now okay. Then after that, okay, so we stop here today. Okay, we just stop here today. Okay, all of you now. Okay, so next time we'll start another chapter. Maybe we'll start the neural control. Okay, nervous system and the neural control will start next time. And after neural control, we have to do one chapter. I think we have left there. Respiration we have left. Circulation we have finished or not, students?
Done, sir.
Okay, so neural control we'll do, and then we will do the respiration. After doing that, we go to the chemical coordination, hormones. Okay, now after completing all these, we want to see a kind of revision. We will go, and then in the revision